So, in the last video, I tore down the CRX's motor, and in this one, I'm going to be reassembling this motor. I will try to go into as much detail as I can, and if I forget anything, I will edit it in, whether it be torque specs or the valve lash clearance. But this is part 2 of the CRX's motor build, so I hope you enjoy. So this is where it's at now. The head is bolted down. The rocker assembly is bolted down. The only thing left to do with the head at this point is adjust the valve flaps, because that is way too much. But off camera, I did ready. I did paint the block and the head, along with this side. So motor's gonna be pretty, but also I'm stripping off the paint I painted on the valve cover because it's not the color I wanted. It is slightly off, and there's oil stains on the valve cover itself. So I have it over here. I'm stripping it off now, but you could see there, I don't know if you can see, but it's a little darker right there. Those are all oil stains, and the whole thing just had so many like little imperfections that it wasn't going to match the engine bay whenever I painted the engine bay, and I want them to match. So back to this. Before we get started on engine things, I do just want to say that I do not record any of the painting. I will record painting the valve cover, but painting the block, I did not. I didn't record any of the painting, any of like the paint prep, any of like the cleaning at all, because I was really just trying to get it done. So I really don't have much to show you because it's pretty like straightforward. You just do the straight opposite of what I've already did to put it back together, and I'm already halfway there. The head is on. The only thing that needs to go on is the timing belt and then time it, and the valve cover. So I guess we just do that then. Okay, first things first, gotta time the motor. Got the new belt. Gotta show you how you do it, and we can move on from there. This mark right here, I don't know if you could see, this mark right here has to line up with that arrow. I don't know why the hell I pointed that looked like an arrow for some reason. This arrow right there, and they do. It does move a little bit, but I do need to rotate this just a hair to get to that line. And up here on the gear, it says up. I don't know if you can see up. But another way is there's little dashes on the side here, and they need to line up with the surface of the head. They lay flat, they lay horizontal. And just a good thing to do while you're already in here doing this is replace a water pump and tensioner, but these are new. They were just put on. I don't think they have 1,000 miles on them, like brand new. But we're gonna get into this. So this crank bolt, 17 millimeter. So what I'll do is I'll rotate this ever so slightly to too much, ever so slightly to line these arrows up. So right there, that's good. And this is fine. So after that's all said and done, I start down here at the crank, and this belt runs over the tensioner, under the water pump, and up above this pulley. Just like that. Now, if you notice, there's a lot of slack in this side. So what you do, you take that 17 millimeter again, and you want to turn this back just to tighten this belt back up. So, oh shit. Make sure it's tight enough so that you can, there you go. Turn this back, tighten this belt up. And there you go, that belt is tight. Now, the tensioner is 14 millimeter, and now your slack is on this side. So what you do, you come underneath the tensioner and you push up on it, and you tighten it down. I'm going the wrong way. So you pull up on the tensioner and you tighten it down. Now, all your belt is tight all the way around. Now all you want to do now at this point is make sure your lines still line up. And then up here, they're still level with the block or the head, and then that is still up. And then from this point, you just rotate the motor. Now, if you're doing this and you feel any sudden stops, any like sort of stop or resistance that shouldn't be there, stop immediately, because you can do some very serious damage to your motor. It's just a good thing to go nice and slow with this so you don't risk doing that. So you're going to want to rotate this 180 or not 188 degrees. You're going to want to spin the crank around 2 times, all the way around 2 times. Line your marks back up, and then my marks, they do line up with the head. So this motor is now in time. All the belts are good. There you go. So for about the last hour, I really haven't done anything except like clean some parts and then paint them, just like the motor mounts, to make them, to freshen them up, make them black again. But I thought I might as well start the valve lash because I'm gonna have to do it anyways, and nothing else to do. I'm waiting for that valve cover to strip. So we're going to set the valve lash. So the way you do this is you want the motor to top dead center, and it is at top dead center because we just put the new timing belt on. So we know the motor is on top dead center. So when it's at top dead center, you can adjust the first and second cylinder on the intake side, and on the exhaust side you can adjust the first and the third cylinder on the exhaust side. So if you're going to do this, you are going to need a feeler gauge. The intake side, I don't know if you can see this. The intake, you probably can't see this. I don't know. Anyways, the intake needs to be, I think it's like 0.006 to 0.008, something like that. But this is a 0.007. And the exhaust side, you might be able to see this one because this one is darker, is a 0.009. I think it's like a 0.008 to 0.010, like 0.010 pretty much, something like that. So I'm using it in the middle of both of them. Y'all gonna need a feeler gauge, but these valves are very much off because I should not be able to do this in the, like that one's closer. This one's pretty close. That one's not close at all. But yeah, show you how you do that. So we know that it is the gap is too big in there. So what you need is a 10mm wrench, preferably a box end or whatever they call it, and a flathead screwdriver. So all you do is you crack this loose. Boom. You crack it loose, you take a flathead screwdriver and you tighten it down. And then you tighten this back up. Don't move the don't move this screw. And you test it again. There should be a drag, a slight drag, and that's still not enough. So crack it back loose. Tighten it before we do this. I'll see if it's good enough. It still needs to go more. Oops. So that right there, maybe a little tighter. Yeah, I'd say that's good because it catches, like it's a drag, it's dragging on it. So yeah, this is the intake. Okay. So after you get it set, you stick your wrench back on it, and then you hold this in place and do not move that screw. Just only turn the bolt. Tighten the bolt back down. Check it again. There you go. I'd say that's good. I'd say that's pretty good. Now this one, that one doesn't need as much. So show you how you do it one more time. Crack it loose. Tighten this screw up. Oh, it's probably cracked. A little bit more. That's good. So we will just put that on there. Do not move that screw. Tighten this down. And then test it again. No. It's a little bit too loose. So crack it loose. Give it just a little bit of a turn. And we'll tighten it back down. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. So yeah. As you can imagine, it is a pretty tedious process, and it does take a while, but that's the gist of it. So intake is 0.007 on the clearance, and then on the exhaust side it is 0.009. And I'm gonna put you on the time lapse and just knock it out.